Hi guys, now we're going to have a look at some constructions. So, perpendicular bisector, it's really important you understand what the words mean first. Bisect something means cut it in half, and a perpendicular means right angles. So we're going to create a right angle exactly halfway along this line. So just by looking at it, I know it's going to be roughly there, and there's going to be a line here. Right, so there is a couple of ways of doing this, but sometimes they make your, for example, if this line is too big for your compass, it won't reach there, then you're going to have to do what I'm going to show you. So it's a good idea to just learn my method because it will work for every line, and it will also work for every skill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my compass to some distance that's more than halfway along. So I estimated there to be halfway. So I'm going to make an arc here. And if I do it, don't change the size of your compass and just do the same there. Now, what I've effectively done is the middle of this line, let's say it is there, is exactly the same as the middle of that line. Because I didn't change the size of my compass, the distance to the middle from either side will be exactly the same. So what that allows me to do is basically shorten this line and now use these 2 points to find the middle. Now, you can change the size of your compass now. The only rule is it has to be bigger than halfway, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm just going to open them just a little bit past halfway, maybe a bit further, and I'm going to make an arc, so part of a circle, above this line. And I'm also going to do that below. Now, if I do exactly the same from this side, so there and there, you'll see I have some intersection points here and here. Now, if I join these intersection points up, I will make a perfect right angle. So, when you're at this point, if your compass isn't big enough, these two, rather than intersecting, they might be like this, so it's no good. They have to cross, so you have to imagine you must go over the center. Alright, so let's have a look at the next skill. So it's exactly the same, but this time, rather than a bisector from the middle, it's from a point. So I'm going to actually do 2 in this part. So this has to be the middle, and you can clearly see it's not the middle of this line. But if I do what I did at the start and just make an arc either side, I can actually ignore the rest of the line. Because I didn't change my compass, this point here is directly in the middle from these 2 points here. So I've now created exactly the same situation as before. Make it bigger than halfway, so they intersect, above and below, above and below, and join those up. It's very important you go above and below, just so you have an extra point to reference. You technically just needed this one and this one, but it's always good because if they don't line up, you know you've got it wrong. So that is a right angle. Now, here, this can be a bit problematic, but if we're asking you to draw a right angle triangle, this is the skill that you'd need. So you can see, if I make an arc there and there, this one's dead easy. I just put it over halfway, go my arc above, and my arc below. But now it's difficult for me to exactly know where to put this. You could guess, probably there would be a good guess, but what we do is I'm just going to do it in pencil. Just extend the line. So then I have the center. Didn't change the size of my compass. Oh, it moved. Sorry about that. And there you have it. So if this was drawing a right angled triangle, so I'm only going to draw it to there, but I've lined it up with this point. And if it was a right angled triangle, say they wanted this line to be, I don't know, 6 centimeters, just line it up, just draw it all the way up to 6 centimeters. So imagine this being a right angled triangle. Now, if the point is not on the line, we still have to do the same process. If you imagine a perpendicular, it's going to be here. So we still need to create an arc either side, which is this point here is in the middle. So if I get my compass from the point, like we did in the last video, and just open it so it actually goes past the line, you see it's just a little bit past, I can make an arc on one side and the other. So again, I've got 2 points, 2 arcs, where the middle is exactly between these. So, once you've got this, you can do your arc above and below. Now you'll notice I'm not going to do the one above. In fact, I will do it. Let me just check that hasn't moved, because it wobbled a bit. Yeah, it did move. So I'm just going to have to do this one again. It's a problem with these rubbish compasses. You're definitely worth off buying a decent one. So there's my point there, but if I do it above, it should hit the actual point that I started with. It's just a nice thing to do, just for an extra bit of confidence you've done it right. So if I line these two up, see, I missed it on my earlier judgment, but that is a right angle. Now, the last skill I'm going to teach you on this is how to bisect an angle. And these skills feature, and you'll see on the questions I set you, they do feature, and you have to know which skill to use. So, bisect again is cutting in half. So we've got to cut this angle in half. So, just like before, I'm going to start, and I'm going to make an arc on one side and on the other. So this point is exactly halfway between here. So once we've made our 2 arcs, just like before, you can open it up or keep it the same, it doesn't really matter. Make an arc halfway in the angle. From both sides. You can do this down here just to get 3 points of reference, but you'll absolutely be fine with just these. And there you have it. That is all the construction skills that you're going to